If you've ever been interested in getting things done and being an overachiever, you've probably checked out productivity related content before. This type of advice is usually delivered by the same type of individual. He or she is an early riser. That's right, these people not only love to get a ton of work done and brag about it, they love to do it early. By the time you wake up, they've already crunched a 1-hour workout, posted a YouTube video, worked on a manuscript for their next book, and they had a breakfast healthier than anything you've eaten in the past 2 months. In this day and age, waking up early seems to be the key to be more productive and reach all your goals in life. But science doesn't always back up this theory. Enter circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are physical, mental, and behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour cycle. These natural processes respond primarily to light and dark and affect most living things, including animals, plants, and microbes. And here is what a basic circadian rhythm looks like for humans. And this is just one of many examples I found online, but look up any image of a circadian rhythm and they all say the same thing. Our highest level of alertness hits around 10 a.m. Not 4, 5, or 6 a.m. 10 a.m. In fact, the melatonin secretion, which is the sleep-regulating hormone, only stops around 7:30 a.m. This doesn't necessarily mean you will be groggy in the morning, if you're a morning person for instance, but it definitely shows that waking up early is not a default behavior expected by nature of the human race, of us. And now we're talking about nature, we're talking about human race, so let's bring it back to basics, back to the beginning. You see, back in the day, sleeping in a little too long could mean the difference between living your life as every day and ending up as a tiger's breakfast, dying of hypothermia, being eaten alive by ants, things we don't really have to deal with anymore in our modern capitalist world. Nowadays, a lot of us are lucky enough to have a roof over our head and to live in a city with no tigers around, right? We have a bed to sleep in, blankets to keep us warm, and somehow getting out from under them anytime before 7 a.m. feels unnatural and unpleasant. And this could explain in part why a lot of successful people wake up early. Do what only a few are willing to do, and you'll greatly increase your chances of success. If only a few people are willing to do what it takes to be successful, it makes sense that only a few become successful, right? Yet, there is a very basic counter-argument to the all successful people wake up early thesis. And that is, many unsuccessful people wake up early too. Probably even more so than successful people. Not only that, but unsuccessful people who have to wake up early because of their job wouldn't even do it if they had a choice. They would prefer to sleep in. These people somehow muster the determination to get out of bed only to get their paycheck, yet their life doesn't improve in any way. So why bother waking up early if you don't have to? Well, there is one major difference between people who wake up early because they don't have a choice and those who choose to do it. People who choose to wake up early have a desire to better their life and they wake up with a purpose. People who just have to wake up early don't see any upside other than getting a check at the end of the month. So what is the true upside of waking up early? So we've seen that science and circadian rhythms don't really indicate that we should wake up early as natural beings evolving in our environment, right? Yet we've also seen that the modern framework we live in every day often requires us to wake up early to attend to various capitalist, mostly money-related duties, right? So it's fair to say that this modern framework is not really in sync with our natural biological clock. So what is the upside to waking up early? Why do most successful people keep getting up early consistently, even sometimes after achieving goals most of us will never reach? And beyond that, why is waking up early still one of the simplest ways to start getting back control of your life? Well, we're gonna answer this question through 3 main key points. Number 1, the Eat Your Frog concept. Eat That Frog is a book I highly recommend you read by Brian Tracy, and in this book he explains that eating the frog is a metaphor for tackling your most challenging task of the day, the one that can have the greatest positive impact on your life. And Gary Keller, who wrote The One Thing, uses the acronym MIT to talk about your most important task of the day, which is roughly the same thing. Both authors recommend tackling this task first thing in the morning for one simple reason. Things usually get in the way throughout the day. I started writing articles online back in 2019, and it didn't take me long to realize that unless I wrote first thing in the morning every weekday, things would literally always get in the way of achieving my most important task. Sure, I could write after coming back from the office or in the evening, except there was one problem. I was way out of brain power by then. I couldn't muster the energy to write a full article at 6 or 9 in the evening, no matter how hard I tried. And that's why I decided to wake up at 6 a.m. every day of the week and start writing right away. It had never been too hard for me to wake up early because I'm a morning person, but using my brain in the morning was a first. And it took a few weeks for me to get the hang of it, but I eventually got into a productive and creative routine that allowed me to post 3 stories per week, 5 drafts and 3 finished live articles. The second point on the upside of waking up early is nobody is asking for your attention at 6 a.m. So again, just to give you an example from my own experience, I worked for a startup that sold for $30 million 3 years ago. And our CFO at the time was known to be a productivity beast. He was a very casual kind of guy. I often had lunch with him. And on one occasion, I asked him what time he woke up to be so productive. And he told me that he was used to getting up at 5:30 a.m. every day, including weekends. When I asked him why he woke up that early to get things done, he had a pretty interesting answer. He said that he once averaged out how many emails, phone calls, and texts he got every day, and that altogether it was close to 100. 100. That's 100 distractions throughout the day, just from people trying to get a hold of him, by the way. This doesn't include physical meetings, people grabbing him at the coffee machine just for 5 minutes, or even other interruptions at the office. I mean, this guy was the CFO of a 30-employee company at the time, and he didn't have 1 minute during the day to do anything that actually mattered to make the company move forward. It's crazy to think about. The only time he really had to focus on things that mattered was in the early morning hours. Most people are still sleeping at 6 a.m. and those who are already awake are busy either getting ready for the day or working on stuff that matters, like you. You're very unlikely to get a phone call, a text, or an email early in the morning, and getting work done is always easier without distractions. Plus, if you do get a message, you can get back to it later during the day without the sender feeling like you ignored them, because nobody really expects you to get back to them ASAP at 6 in the morning. I mean, come on. Or if they do, stop working with them. Final point on the upside of waking up early, and this is the most important one, you get energy from feeling like you own the day. Even if something is not scientifically proven to work and is only a placebo, in this case waking up early, you should enjoy it for as long as you get positive effects from it, right? So yes, science says most humans are alert, or most alert at 10 a.m. and not 6 a.m. That's fine. But we've seen that in our society and in the way most companies work, that way is very much designed to satisfy and reward early risers the most. I mean, nobody ever got a raise for showing up late at the office, right? So you kind of have to find a middle ground here, and the feeling you get from owning your day and waking up before most people is unparalleled to the alertness you may have at 10 a.m. at the coffee machine in the office. Again, this is in the framework of capitalism and of productivity. If we were still walking around naked in the jungle and the one thing we had to focus on was getting food for the night, then it would be completely fine to follow our natural cycle and wake up between 7 and 10 or whatever time we would want to, and follow our natural cycles. But when you're having a coffee break at 10 a.m. chatting with your colleagues, your alertness and positive energy are just useless. It's used at the wrong time, essentially. So try to wake up early for a week or 2. I can almost guarantee you that you'll benefit from it. Try a few times, create a list of things to work on in the morning. That's very important, because without a goal, you'll go straight back to bed. Do all that and look at your output after 1 month, and you'll most likely be amazed at yourself. So in conclusion, waking up early is not natural, but it's efficient. Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, your favorite tech guy or productivity guru, they all wake up early before the crack of dawn. Would they have been successful without waking up early? We'll never know, but what's for sure is that people who wake up early give themselves more time to achieve and prioritize things that people who wake up later can only dream of doing. At the end of the day, it's about what works for you, and if you're more of a night owl than early bird, then it's up to you to make good use of your time in the evening. But objectively, let's be honest here, we all know that evenings are more prone to Netflix shows, Twitter notifications, X notifications, and checking unread emails, stuff like that. I don't really associate evenings with shutting off the outside world and getting into the focus zone. It doesn't go together, right? Waking up early may not be natural, but it's extremely efficient and one of the best ways to gain control of your life and achieve great things. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and remember to leave a thumb up on the video if you liked it. You can also leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video. Enjoy the journey you're on.